Hey guys, big warm welcome to another episode of Our Shane. This video is brought to you by the Academy of Holistic Mediumship in working partnership with www.shanegad.com. So guys, what a difference a day makes. Something to share with you before we move into the video. What a difference a day makes. So this morning I woke up very kind of early and thought to myself, I'm going to grab a flask and I'm going to head down to the plot. Yesterday we had over a month's worth of rain in one day. It was torrential rain non-stop, and then today we are bathed in beautiful sunshine, but you can actually see storm clouds beginning to build, and tomorrow we've got torrential rain again. Kind of gives me a sense of when I was growing up, we would have April showers. So you'd have showers, then you have warmth, sunshine, and then showers again. Yesterday was a lot more than a shower. But I headed down to the plot just to check on the row of potatoes that we had put in on Sunday. In the potato trench in their rows, and because we had so much rain, I was a bit concerned that the rows would have been washed away, exposing the potatoes. Actually, it got down there was only one exposed, so I was really chuffed about that. And I sat there having a cup of tea, and I looked across towards the oak tree that sits right in the far side of the allotments, and there sitting in the sun was a vixen. She was just sitting there on what was some old matting, and she was up against the hedge, just bathing in the sun with her eyes gently closed. And I just thought, what an incredible sight, you know, what a beautiful way to start the day. A lady on the plot opposite me, she said in all the years that she's been coming up, she's never spotted her. It was just one of those wonderful moments, and I kind of sat there and thought to myself, you know, there's a whole nother world beyond the allotment gate. You know, an unhurried and an unrushed world. It's not quite in the everyday, and it's not far from the everyday. It's in the in-between. It's in the middle ground. It's between worlds, and you know, I can remember for the best part of a year, you know, riding past this 5-bar gate and the hedge, and looking out towards the allotments and thinking, I wonder what goes on the other side of this 5-bar gate. And here I am. So beautiful way to start the day. What I wanted to share with you is picking up from last week's Ask Shane. You know, we were exploring you know, that kind of idea and that kind of thought of, you know, what is my spiritual path? What is my path going forwards? And some great interactions from all of you. So I really thank every one of you that comments, that writes to me, that emails to me. It's always greatly appreciated. As much as I don't always have the time to get back to each and every one of you, I do read them all, and I want you to know that I greatly appreciate them. And one of the comments that come up was from a gentleman called Graham, who I've had the honour and the pleasure and privilege to work with. And he said, you know, it's a question that I ask myself every day: what am I supposed to do? And I kind of been reflecting on that over this last week, and you know, that sense of when we kind of find ourselves at a void, or we find ourselves at a crossroads, or we find ourselves in a space of not really knowing where we are, what to do. You know, it gives us a sense of, you know, we lose our kind of orientation, we lose our bearings on where we are. And I think one of the things that I've really discovered that holds great value is then being able to really try to identify who we really are, what makes us tick, where does our passions lie, you know. And I think that we can begin to we can begin to feel them, you know, we can begin to sense them, we can begin to kind of tap into them, you know, because they're there. But sometimes what we do is we kind of, in a way, we push it away, or we say, oh, I don't know, or we wake up in the morning really sure that that is the path that we're going to walk, and then as the day goes by we become very kind of uncertain, very unsure, you know, but yet we woke up and we were very sure. And I think as the day goes by, it's just where the mind starts to grab hold of it and starts to, you know, in a way unpack it, unpick it, unravel it, but not in the best ways. You know, it's kind of creating in the doubts starting to creep in, the self-belief, or the kind of maybe gently lack of self-belief is beginning to stir, and then we go, oh no, maybe I shouldn't, or I can't, or, you know, we find all these resistance, all these reasons why not to. And I think, you know, if there's something stirring inside of you, and I think with Graham, you know, he said, you know, this is a question I ask myself every day, what to do, and that sense of feeling lost is, you know, is gently, you know, sit really real still quietly, and, you know, place that sense of hand on heart and close those eyes and ask yourself, you know, what is it that brings me alive? What is it that stirs deep inside of me? What is it that I want to do? And it will start to begin to stir, it will begin to surface, and maybe just grab it, write it down, and then begin to kind of, you know, as the week unfolds, think, you know, how can I bring that into my world? You know, how can I start to create firm footings? How can I start to bring that into being? You know, it's a bit like, you know, over the last few days and this morning, you know, I planted a few little seeds on the edge of my plot, which is going to be right near the salad garden, you know, which is going to be recycled, upcycled, reclaimed apple crates, and I'm going to grow the salad garden on the edge of the plot, but just on the edge of it I've just sown some wildflowers, you know, and it's that sense of just beginning to take the seeds, take the vision, and then begin to breathe life into it. You know, what do I need to do to bring life into it? And I don't think, you know, it's easy, but it's starting. And then how can I move this forwards? And then every day, every week, checking in and saying to yourself, how can I bring this forwards? You know, so I had someone, you know, last week say to me, you know, what I want to do is, you know, I want to learn how to read tarot. And I said to them, how long have you wanted to learn to read tarot? And they said, oh, for years. And I said, have you brought some tarot cards? And they went, yeah, I did, but then I gave them away because I thought I couldn't do it. And I said, well, the first step you need to kind of gently, underlined very gently, very softly, very warmly, is you need to acquire a set of tarot cards, and just kind of go and find those cards, you know, jump online, see what jumps out of you. Maybe you're already drawn to a set, but acquire those cards. And then the next thing you need to do is then build a relationship with those cards. You need to kind of look at them, you know, just go through the deck every few days, just pull a random card. What is that card saying? You know, what is its characteristics? What's its attributes? What's its personality? What is its energy? What is its tone? What is its feeling? And then start to build the relationship with them, and then the key is going to be practice, you know. So already there's movement, there's a way of going forwards, you know, but quite often what stops us is the belief in self. So there's a few thoughts for this week's Ask Shane, you know, and I think that when we do feel uncertain to where to go, it sometimes is, you know, just nourish and nurture that sense of connection to that inner voice that sits inside of you, and just ask, you know, what now? What next? You know, because at those times of we're feeling lost, what's happening is we're uprooted, and we've kind of, you know, been thrown in the air at some level, and we're sensing a disorientation to our anchoring and orientation, and sometimes though what it's doing is leveling out our life. You know, there's a really beautiful quote that's quite challenging, but that beautiful quote that says, you know, when everything's falling apart, just maybe it's falling into place. So there's a few thoughts to consider. As always, it's absolute honour and pleasure. If this raises any thoughts, questions, feelings, do please feel free to share them, and you've got any questions, pop them in below, and I will always have a look and feature them in the up and coming Ask Shane. So in the meantime, I'm wishing you all a wonderful day, and you know, very gently just connect and ask yourself, what now, what's next. Speak soon, take care guys, bye bye.